If you can't get out on bottom, you need to watch this video, you need to study this video, and get this technique down. We're gonna be only going over one move. Number one way to get out on bottom by a lot. I studied the national championships from 2023, and 95% of all escapes in the finals were from this position. On bottom, my opponent's either gonna be wrestling on the left or the right side of me. Depending on that, I will prepare myself for an arm chop or a spiral ride to that side. Those are the two main breakdowns. So when I'm on bottom, I'm expecting the person to chop, to spiral ride, to put weight on the side that they're wrestling on. So my hands on the mat, my butt is low. I'm sitting on my heels. My knees are a little wider than shoulder width apart. They're not here, they're not here. They're not also crazy low, just like that. I need to have a very strong base. My back is curled upwards. So if you look from the side, called a cat back, my back is curled here. The reason why I curl my back upwards is because when they put pressure forwards, they'll slide off the curvature of my back. But if I have it kind of the opposite way, they'll push into my back and be able to get more pressure on my hands. My hands are about the same distance as my knees, and my head is up and my shoulders are down to prevent half Nelsons and deep claws. When my partner sets up on top, so go ahead and set up on top, I'm expecting him to do a hard chop or a spiral ride towards my left side. So go ahead and do an example, boom, I'm expecting that. So when the whistle blows, my first move is my hands at the same distance apart, move over to here. Same distance apart, move over, and then I push and resist the chop. So I push back over my right hip and I lean my weight this way. As I do that, my left foot sticks out and points in that direction. So hop off real quick. So look at my left foot. So I go here, I push back, that frees up weight off this foot so then I can stick my foot out. Once my foot is sticked out, I can pivot that up and keep my head up like this. Then once I get to this position, my other foot, so I'm here, my right foot slightly comes out and I push back to here. Once I'm here, I circle to get an angle on my opponent. I leave my left hand on the mat and I attack the grips with my right hand. So I'm back down on bottom in this position here. Back is arc or curved upwards, head is up. When the whistle blows, ready to go, I resist. I start pushing back and sticking my left toe out. It's a little bit underneath of them. That's why I have to shift my weight right, shift my weight over this heel to get that left toe pointing outwards. Once it's there, I start shifting that foot up and get to this position. Now my right foot sticks out a little bit and I push up to this position. Now I don't want him directly behind me. So as I'm standing up, I'm gonna be trying to get to the side of him. So as I'm tripoding up, I'm gonna be trying to step and pivot so he's on the side of me. This will make it much easier for me to get my escape. Now if he's on the left side, I've got to keep my left hand on the mat because if I lift it up, I'll fall back down to that side. So my left hand stays on the mat and my right hand attacks his hands. I peel and I put it in my back pocket. At this point, it's too far away for him to reach with his other hand. So I can easily get my escape. Pivot, turn and face. Another reason why I keep one hand on the mat, so go back on top real quick, or we'll get to this position. Another reason why I keep one hand on the mat is because if I lift both hands, they can lock their hands together, and it's very hard to break a lock. As much as coaches show to shift and break here, when you're wrestling a good opponent, it's very tough to break this lock. So ideally, I use sealing off, so sealing, where my elbow kind of comes in, and I use attacking the fingers to help prevent the lock from happening in the first place, okay? So I leave one hand on the mat so he can't lock his hands, and I start attacking. If he has a deep claw, I may even attack the claw side, all right? I'll attack either side. Now, as I attack these hands, I gotta be aware that he doesn't grab my wrist. So if I attack here and I feel him, I'll let go. Because it's much worse to be here with one of your arms trapped than to be on your base. You never wanna get your arm trapped on your feet. So as I'm here fighting, I'm very careful to not get my arm trapped. I'm peeling, but I'm careful. I'm careful. And once I've peeled, I pivot, always pivot into them. That's another big mistake wrestlers make from this tripod escape. So my partner's on top of me. I want to face my partner. So what's the shorter distance to face him? Well, it's left. If I turn left, I'm going to face him quicker than doing a almost 360 the other direction. But a lot of wrestlers will turn and try to face him that way, and most of the time get their hands locked or their waist locked, okay? So when I'm here and I'm peeling and fighting, I'm turning and facing him the shortest distance and then getting free and getting that escape, okay? Now if he's on the opposite side, again, it's the same thing. He goes, when the whistle blows, my hands, I try to beat him off the whistle. You know, a lot of people, they talk about jumping the whistle. It's okay to get a caution. So it's like, ready, wrestle, I'm already here. I'm resisting. Head is up. I'm ready for a battle here. He might jump, he might go crossface, he could do a lot of different stuff. I'm ready for this battle. Once I've shifted my weight over, my right foot can stick out. So my right foot is sticking this direction right now, and I can start pivoting up. Even here, I'm getting an angle. As I stand up to my tripod, I'm trying to get an angle. So as I tripod up, watch me circle a little bit as I do it. I want him to be on the side of me. It makes it much easier for me to escape. Now my right hand in this case stays on the mat, while my left hand attacks. Put it behind me and get out of the position. Now I want to go into the detail of what is my body like in a tripod position. So if we look here, my knees are slightly bent, my legs are pretty wide, okay, I'm like this, and I should be able to lift my hands off the mat freely, okay? I don't want to be extended here in a tripod. This is not a good tripod or quad pod. I want to be in a position where I can lift my hands off the mat. They're already going to be pushing forwards, so so try not to have any weight on your hand in the first place. They're already going to be pushing weight there. So don't already be in a handstand. It's going to make it very difficult. So I'm squatted, head is up, hands are here. This is like almost like a football position where you're going to like explode from the line. So come back on top real quick. So as I quad pod up, I'm here. You know, my butt is low. I don't want my butt up and my weight on my hands. I got to be able to deal with this pressure, you know. Another reason why I don't want my head down is they might get a really deep claw or half Nelson on me. They can also go cradle too. You know, if your head's down, go like near side cradle maybe. You know, you can get cradled and pinned. One of my athletes actually was doing the quad pod this weekend and lost the match because his head was down. So head and chest are up here as I'm dealing with these positions, sealing off and peeling, okay? Another thing I want to talk about is if I do get to my feet and they lock their hands, how do I deal with this situation? So get on my, lock your hands. I'm stuck here. The way we want to think about this position is don't get mat returned. And if you do get mat returned, barely get mat returned. So it's his job to bring me back to the mat. It's my job to stay on my feet and try to get free. So don't get mat returned. A lot of times, your opponent's going to get called for stalling if you can stay on your feet. So I'll go back behind real quick. I stay in a squatted position, or essentially in my stance. I get in a wrestling stance, and I want to keep him behind me. The most common way to take somebody down from a mat return is getting to the side, go ahead and step to the side, and picking you up and slamming you on the floor. So you want to use your hands to keep his hips as far away as possible so that he can't step in and lift. So I'm going to use my hands, we call them V's, and push on the back of his legs so he can't get in front of me. I want to keep him directly behind me, all right? I may try to peel a little bit too, but I'm really just trying to avoid that mat return. And I'm always staying low. Now, if I do get mat returned, look, it's not going to be that big. I'm not getting picked up and slammed on my face. I'm barely getting mat returned. So go ahead and mat return me. Look, I'm here. Yep. See, look, I'm low. Boom, I just touched. Wasn't a big return. But what happens is right when a knee or a hand touches, he has to unlock his hands. And once he unlocks his hands, I go to an explosive stand-up, and I attack his grip. So I fell. I barely hit a knee or a hand. I'm still in great position. Then I explode up and attack quickly. I'll show you guys that again. So I want to stay low. I want to prevent this mat return. Go ahead and start mat returning me. Right, I hook. That's it. He has to unlock. And I'm exploding right back up, peeling and facing. So if you do get to your feet and they do have their hands locked, don't get returned. Stay low. If they do bring you down, barely hit a hand, barely hit a knee and just explode back up. Do not let this happen. Go mat return me just like normal. Don't let this happen, right? Where you fall way down to the mat. You can't let that happen. Now, if you do get beat off the whistle and they start chopping you and maybe you fall to your forehead, I want to rotate my opposite hand and opposite knee to get my hips underneath me. So here's what I mean. If he chops me, go ahead and chop, and I fall like this, here's what I'm going to do in this situation. My right knee is going to swing around and my right hand's going to post so I don't fall over to my side. Once I've posted, I bring my hands back up and start pivoting up to the exact same tripod position. So again, if you get beat off the whistle here and you fall to your elbow, as you get beat, my hand is trying to post almost right here because I'm falling there. So I need something to stop the fall from happening. So I'm making a very big circular motion and bringing my knees back underneath me. And then I'm pivoting up, attacking, and facing. Okay? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want you guys to understand with the tripod, but it is the #1 stand-up to get a lot of reps there, really understand it. I have a whole series on bottom. If you go to Iron Faith Wrestling and you search like bottom or escapes, I have a whole series on bottom, but I wanted to make a more detailed instructional on just the tripod stand-up because it's the #1 way to escape. If you learn this, I got out of 90% of my matches with this move. You also need to know leg reversals. You need to have Western counters and have some stuff from the sit-out position, but 90% of your escapes can be done just with this one move. If you have any questions about this specific move or any other moves, feel free to leave them in a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys in the next video.